Children's television has hit a steep decline over the years. It has fallen from once great shows like Umizoomi and VeggieTales, which actually taught valuable lessons to kids, to this pointless, brain-numbing political propaganda that is being used to actively indoctrinate kids. There's once a time when children's television was there only to bring some kind of value and bring some kind of lesson. There was never any ideology that was being pushed through the shows, of course, but it was just this lesson. They were teaching something. Umizoomi, what did it do? It taught kids math and patterns, and it also taught kids just to help out their communities. It was a very based show. VeggieTales, I mean, do I even have to say anything? It's VeggieTales. It was epic. It was based. Taught kids epic lessons, and it was Christian. So, who doesn't love VeggieTales? If you don't love VeggieTales, you should probably be kicked out of the country, to be honest. You should be kicked out to California, and then we will kick California out of the country with all the VeggieTale haters. Because who doesn't love VeggieTales? You have something wrong with you if you don't. But now what we have is this politically charged content that is being shoved down the throats of children, and it's going over the heads of most parents because they are far too distracted by all the pains that are being brought through the modern world with inflation that is making it so hard for your average middle class family even to feed their kids, let alone think about what television they're watching, so that while they're distracted, these kids are just getting pumped full of propaganda. Look at what Blue's Clues did not too long ago with their Pride Month celebration. And now we have a Netflix show, Ridley Jones is what it's called. It has recently been canceled because, well, it just wasn't very good, it seems. But I want to show you guys a clip of this political propaganda, so let's hop right into it.
Name Fred. That's because I'm non-binary, and Fred is the name that fits me best. And I also use they and them because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel right to me.
I'm sorry I used the wrong name and pronouns.
They are actively trying to push this propaganda onto the youth. They are the most vulnerable people, and if they can get these ideas, these fictional, inverted realities into the heads of kids, they can convince them that it is truth. And if you can convince someone early on that something is truth, it is very hard and very difficult to get them out of that mindset. They've already accepted it as a reality. And the problem with this type of stuff is kids, they do what? They just get thrown on a random Netflix show, right? Like the show, it says for kids. The parents think nothing of it, throw them on, and this stuff is getting pushed into the brains of the children while the parents aren't even acknowledging it. They don't even realize what is going on. They don't even realize that they are actively MK ulturing their children. This is the biggest problem with modern day television, right? It is all just propaganda. It is all politicized. There are no longer some kind of valuable lesson to be learned. What can a kid learn from that? How does that make a kid's life better? Just makes them more confused. It makes them be like, "Oh, what? Am I not who I am? Is this not me?" We used to teach kids that they should be proud of their bodies, right? That they should not that they shouldn't try to become someone else because other people tell them to, right? But now we're telling kids, you know what, your body, it might be the wrong body. You might be wrong, and maybe you should need to destroy your body and mutilate it and become infertile, and that's how you solve your problems. How quickly we have shifted is absolutely incredible. I don't understand how, as a society, we have fallen into this trap so quickly. It's such an obvious trap, too. It's so obviously so contrary to reality. It is an inversion of truth, and this is what is being pushed on kids. There's once a point where they were saying, it's none of your business what we do in private. And honestly, look, I agree with that, right? Like, if you want to do something in your own home, that's fine. I don't really care. Go ahead. But it should never, ever have gotten out of that point. This should not have ever been socially tolerable in public, right? Like, what's this whole they them idea is ridiculous. God created man and woman, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it always has been, and that's the way it always will be, right? Nobody's gonna dig up your bones in a thousand years and look at them and be like, hey, you know what? This was a they them. No, they're gonna say whatever your original biological sex was, because you can't just switch it. You were put in that body for a reason, and you have a role to fill, and you don't get to just flip flop around. It's not your decision. You don't get a choice in this matter. You are what you are, and you have to accept that, and you have to embrace it, and stop denying it and going down this path that will just lead to more confusion. And we need to stop pushing it on the kids because it is only creating a mentally ill generation. Just look at Gen Z, right? It is painful for me to look around at the other people, my fellow people in my generation, right? Because just look at the mental illness, right? We have more people identifying as LGBTQ than any other generation by a drastic margin, and more people that have depression, more people that have anxiety. Our generation is clearly falling apart, and it's because this is what was pushed on us from an early age, right? Luckily, I'm a little bit older where I didn't consume as much of this content. I didn't see as much of this propaganda because most of this started coming out when I was probably like 8 or 9, a little past shows like this. But I can see how it's been affecting my youngest brother, the people, his classmates. I can see how it's turning them all just like confused. It's just weird, right? This isn't normal. And it's clear, the effects are clear. We have seen the depression, we've seen the anxiety, we have seen the identification of just confusion, LGBT or whatever. It's just ridiculous, and we need to start denying this, and we need to start calling out shows like this. And thankfully, this one has been canceled, and we need to make a movement to start getting more shows that are pushing this ideology onto young kids canceled because this is not okay, and we should not accept this as our reality because it is an inversion and it is disgusting and it's only leading to more depression and in the end, unfortunately, death. But on that note, I'm going to wrap up the video. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, share the video. I greatly appreciate it. But I'm going to head out. So long, peace out, and God bless y'all.